I'm not sure if it's better to go last. I kept adding notes, thinking I'm going to keep talking longer, but I'm here today to talk and share with you a bit about our story and our journey as we are changing our social investment programs. And we started this as we hit our 10th year, and we started looking at how much money we had contributed to community over a 10-year period. We did more than $100 million, and we said, and what difference did we make? And if we look forward and say the next 10 years, what are we going to do? And when we started thinking about a bigger picture, that way we started thinking differently about our funding and our strategies. We commissioned some research work and had Tamarack out of Waterloo do some work for us. And we came up with a focus on sustainable communities. It's something that we can talk about at a regional and local level, a national level, and a global level. And really started to think about where we could go. And we talked about what are we good at as an organization. We're a corporate foundation. We're full of engineers. Our company is like chock-block full of engineers who are really good at systems thinking. And they're really good at thinking about complexity and solving complex challenges. So as we started talking about our strategies, those were important elements to think about who we were. For us as a corporate foundation, we also had to think about what was our contribution back to the company. We've got one funder, it's the company. What are we doing to address some of the business risks? So for us, it was about retention and recruitment of employees, about the community image and reputation, especially in Fort McMurray, and the company. We found a great book, Jim. Frances Wesley. She basically laid it out for us. Here's what you need to do. There's a great list of things in there, but there was one quote that really talked about social innovation, about investing in the process of change and the interaction. And so that's what we decided to start focusing in on. And we started looking at social systems and in Fort McMurray to say, where can we intervene in that social system to actually begin to facilitate some change? We started to go to where the experts were. We know that the expert's written the book, let's go find the expert. And so we went to the University of Waterloo. And we started saying to them, this is what we think we want to do. We want to build the capacity of the nonprofit sector in Wood Buffalo, because if we can actually impact the whole quality of life in that community. And so with their help, we started what was becoming the Waterloo Wood Buffalo Nonprofit Capacity Building Initiative, otherwise known as Water Buffalo. Nobody liked this name because this was the only image they could remember. So it became Social Prosperity Wood Buffalo, and really is a joint and a facilitated initiative with ourselves, United Way, community, and the University of Waterloo. It started with shared learning and building trust. I think Michelle talked about that. We spent more than 8 months bringing community members and organizations out of Waterloo up to Fort McMurray and put 5 action learning teams together. And they were sharing experiences, sharing learning, and building and getting to know each other. Out of that, we were beginning to and able to start to put a plan of action in together. Our role was to support the process underneath. We had some very clear outcomes. We wanted an increased and better network. We wanted greater understanding. We wanted to influence that nonprofit sector and hold retention of executive directors, for example. So we had a plan of change and a theory of change. We've seen incredible results in about 2.5 years. We've got new community initiatives. We've got an arts foundation that's now established up there. We've got a new program to recognize nonprofit leaders. We're getting all kinds of new programs in place. Imagine Canada. We took the accreditation program for Imagine Canada and put 12 organizations in Fort McMurray through it. Something that I never would have thought would have been happening up in that community. The building of the networks was important. The core group started to expand it. They had a conference that was as big as this in Fort McMurray of representatives of people working in the nonprofit sector to talk about their common and sort of that chamber of volunteer organization kind of action and common voice. New organizations, 3 organizations have merged already. Never would have been an outcome I expected up there, is that 3 organizations recognized they could work together better if they were together. And as I mentioned, we had a theory of change. and community strategies starting to explore. These people up there in the community now are talking about what's the shared community strategy for shared space and shared services. How do we actually think together as a community about what we need as a community? And our theory of change all the way along, and we also had great developmental evaluation work to actually, we've been researching, looking at this, and taking it across the board during the time we've been working on this. And we believe this is important, and our next challenge is going to be, can we scale this? Because we really believe in community like Fort McMurray that's up there in the north that is a boom community. There's communities like this all across the country, and as we start thinking about boreal forest and expansion of programs and mines in the northern part of Canada, these are critical communities that we need to think about.